Today I want to say something, my personal idea of the communication studies. The first one, I want to start with what is the communication studies. First point, I want to say the social media. What is social media is included by the communication studies because the communication studies teach us how to have a good communication with other persons. The social media also need this skill. We'll work in some journal, work in some TV live shows. You want to communicate with other persons. Now you need to good communication skills. So the social media is included by the communication studies. The second one I want to say art of the speech. Everything is in the speech. It's explain yourself, explain your mind, explain what you want to say to other persons. So the communication studies, it's help you to study the skill and the think line and what you can see, what you can't see in a speech. So it's art. It's art of the talking. It's art of the speech. So the art of the speech is included by the communication studies. The third one I want to say the performance studies. What does it mean for a performance studies? A performance studies it's mean you use the example, you study the behavior, you study other person how to speak as well as a good person. That is a performance studies. A communication studies it's same like this. A communication studies it's to study other person's example, other person's good things in their speech or in their talking. You study of that. It's kind of like so a performance studies it's included by the communication studies. The last one I want to say a writing skill. Why? Because last semester my communication instructor told me if I want to get a master degree at a communication, I need to write something every day. So the writing skill it help you in the future. You finish study the communication studies and you want to go to some journals, you want to be you want to be work here, you need to write something good as well as a good writer to explain yourself clearly and you have a lot of information but show up to other person simpler simple. It's kind of like that. So I think a writing skill is included by the communication studies. When we are young, our dad or mom always teach us everything's in this world. Like the first time they want us call them dad or mom. They use language, use the word, use the picture, or just use them face to let us call them dad or mom. That is communication studies. So we are studying the communication studies when we are really younger. When we grow up, we go to the school, go to the college, we communicate with our professor, with our teacher, we get the message from them, and we give them the feedback. That is communication. That is we study of the communication studies in the daily life. So why the communication studies is important. Those two pictures it's included by here, but I also want to add something. It's a basic skill in the daily life. You know, in the future, you will never come back to the college. Nobody can teach you how to study. Now you can use the communication studies skill. You can talk to other persons. You can study with something you didn't study in the college. You can communicate with other persons. Let them teach you how to do everything you want to do. That's the communication studies. It's important in the daily life. The second one I want to say it's a fast reaction. The communication studies in the class, we always communicate with other persons. We communicate with our teacher, with our professor, with our instructor, with our classmates. It's practice your fast reactions in the class. When you get some message, when you get some message, when you get some information, your classmates or your professor give you, you need to back the information fast. So it's a fast reaction. The third one I said it's a crisis public relations capability. Why I say this? When you work at some company, you gotta work with you gotta work to explain your company or the service of your company. If the customer finds some problem of your company, you need to have the fast reactions and try to explain why this is gonna be happening and how to fix on the problem, how to make the problem never gonna happen again. You need to explain them to your customer. So the crisis public relationship capability right now, it's useful for your work. So the communication studies, it's study like this. The next one I want to say exchange well as a good person. When you study the communication studies in the daily life, if you say something bad, who will communicate with you? That's a point. That's a really good point. I think you need to practice how to communicate good, how to communication as well as a good person. So the exchange as well as a good person, it's included by the communication studies. Also, the communication studies, we can study some of the other person's behavior, like when they communicated something, or when they say something to you, they how to stand or how to say it. It's different mean when they are communicated with you. So if you study this, when you communicate with other persons, you can know what they thought, what they're truly thinking about they meant. So that's why the communication study it's important. What you can do when you finish communication studies? But first, I want to say it's a political. Because a good politician need to have a good communication with other persons, with your citizen, with the person who's living in your city or living in your country. Whatever you how to explain, you need to explain very clearly to let them trust you. So the communication studies is work for politician. Also a salesman. When you work at the market, a new person come here, want to buy something, you just have 30 seconds to make them like you. How? Communication with them. Know what they want to buy. Know what they want to know. Know what is what they like, what they didn't like. So communicate with them. That's why I say the communication studies it's when you finish communication studies, you can be a salesman. Also, a good teammate or team leader. We all know that if we working in a team, we need to communicate with other persons. When you study communication studies, you got a good skill of communication. You can have a good communication with your teammates or your leader to make them like you. Okay, you're successful on your work. Thanks for listening. That's all my think for the communication studies.